topic. We're going to be talking today about the Transcendental Meditation Program and how it reduces trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic stress. And we're going to talk about when a person has big traumas in their life, big challenges that are overwhelming, that they can practice TM, Transcendental Meditation, as a tool to help come back to a more balanced, peaceful life. So two of us are going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking, but let's first hear Dr. Ian Glickman will be speaking. Dr. Glickman, would you like to please give some of your background? Tell them a little bit about your background.
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure and a great joy to be here to speak about transcendental meditation and PTSD. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist with many decades of experience. I worked at the Veterans Hospital, the War Veterans Hospital, for the last 10 years here in Iowa City, where I am. And I've seen about 10,000 PTSD cases. Prior to that, I was in a facility for children and their families, many of whom were suffering from PTSD. So I'm a very experienced psychologist with seen 20,000 PTSD cases. I'm also a certified transcendental meditation teacher, and I've been so since 1972. So I understand what I'm going to do is show you absolutely incredibly profound is the word of the day, profound effects that transcendental meditation has on the recovery of PTSD, like I guarantee you've never seen before. So I look forward to presenting on it.
Beautiful. And so I'm David Shapiro. I'm the president of Alliance for PTSD Recovery. We are a charity in the United States that helps people in need. We help raise money for the Transcendental Meditation technique to be taught around the world to people in need, because it's such a the reason we support TM is we feel from the research and our experience that's extremely rapid, and it's really the gold standard, the best program for highly effective program that's both extremely good on its own and also very, very effective for working with other programs like cognitive behavior therapy and other very commonly used tools to reduce trauma. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a bachelor's degree, and we've been working in about 20 countries around the world, much of Africa, the Middle East, and the Philippines, Ukraine, Russia, all these countries. We're not a political organization by any means. We help people wherever there's a need. So we help Pakistan, we help Palestine, we help Lebanon, we help Israel, we help suffering people. We avoid the politics, and we just help where there's a need. So that's, we're helping people with trauma in Ukraine. We're helping people with trauma in Russia. We're helping people. So you see, we don't take political sides. We focus on helping people where there's a big need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend about a half an hour and go over the research that shows that TM is astoundingly effective at reducing post-traumatic stress disorder. And for my review and understanding of what's available, I feel that TM is actually the most effective by itself, but it supports every other technology, every other effective trauma-reducing procedure. So let me take a second and share my screen with you. Can everyone see this all right? This is a slideshow on transcendental meditation, bringing reliable, evidence-based recovery from post-traumatic stress. So what I'm going to talk about today is four things. Now, after I talk, then I'm going to let you ask ask questions you may have. So maybe write them down or remember them, and then we'll answer questions. And then Dr. Glickman, then we'll have a little break for a couple minutes. Then Dr. Glickman will speak for about 25 minutes. And then um, he'll take a few questions. We'll take another little break, and then um, we'll think together. We'll take more questions, and we'll think together what we can do with this beautiful, effective tool for reducing scientific, evidence-based, rapid tool for reducing trauma, what we can do in Bangladesh with all the contacts you have. Okay, so the slideshow, which we will first review what the causes and symptoms of post-traumatic stress are. Then we're going to look at the scientific research. Then we're going to look briefly at some different groups around the world, civilians and military and women and children and students and prisoners, all these different groups who have shown a good support, good improvement with transcendental meditation. And then we're going to discuss how we can help you, and we're going to see we're going to discuss with you. Now, there's some people who want to join. I think everyone's joining. Good. So the causes of the main causes of post-traumatic stress or traumatic stress are simply traumatic events. You know, in natural disasters like in Bangladesh, the flooding, the hurricanes, the cyclones are examples of natural disasters which create a lot of suffering. Also, the war, debilitation of freedom fighters, groups that have been fighting. It's a big cause of traumatic stress. There's also domestic abuse and sexual abuse is another issue, and terrorism is another issue. But you can imagine anything could be a source of traumatic stress. It could be some family member dies or one gets in an accident. So there are many causes of traumatic stress. We just try to list the main ones. For Bangladesh, we said flooding, cyclones, tsunamis. 66% of the cyclone victims were traumatized in a recent study. Poverty and violence in Bangladesh is a big problem because Bangladesh has a big challenge with a lot of people that are poor and don't have enough to eat. 30 of the freedom fighters from 1971, about a third of them had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and over 2/3 had major depression. The refugees from Myanmar have a high level of PTSD symptoms. Another big problem in Bangladesh specifically, I think your population is around 163 million. So in 2016, there were only 200 psychiatrists and 50 trained clinical psychologists. So currently in 2023, there's only 0.53 physicians for 1,000 people. So there's less than one physician there's about one physician for 2,000 people, and according to the British Journal of Psychiatry, and 65% of rural citizens have local doctors with no allopathic healthcare training. So there's a big need there's a big lack of support from the medical profession, especially the allopathic medical profession, for mental and physical health. So, but what are the symptoms if a person is in a cyclone or a person is in a flooding area and they feel really traumatized? They have a very traumatic event. What will they experience? they'll experience repeated memories of that event. Those memories could be, they could remember the event, or when they're awake or when they're sleeping, they could have memories that come up and haunt them. Um, they could even have events that trigger their memories. Um, they could start when you have PTSD from these terrible events, you can start trying to avoid events that remind you of the event that was so traumatizing. You can feel very emotionally numb. You can have trouble sleeping. You can always be extremely alert. Um, you can also, as a result of all this, you can have a lot of challenges with being very, very angry or doing things that are destructive to oneself or destructive to other people. We can start drinking or taking drugs or smoking or doing things that are destructive to oneself. Um, two of the very commonly used tools in the United States are called prolonged exposure and cognitive behavior therapies. This is used a lot in the U.S. military to try to help people, veterans or military people with high level of trauma and PTSD. But these commonly used preferred programs, which are called the gold standard, only bring 1/3 of the veterans out of PTSD. So what that tells us is that they may be effective, but they're not doing enough. More is needed. When we look at the transcendental meditation technique, um, these are different groups. These are combat veterans, these are prisoners, the yellow is students, and the red is war refugees. And one thing they all have in common is that on the left, it shows the reduction in PTSD symptoms. You can see the longer the bar is, the more the reduction in symptoms. And if there's a reduction of 10 or more on this test, that means there's a clinically significant reduction in PTSD symptoms. And what you can see here is that every one of these 14 studies, now 18 studies, has everyone, whether it's a war veteran or a prisoner or it's a college student or a war refugee, all of them had clinically significant reductions in PTSD with TM. So that's very important. It's not just one group at one time in one place. Everyone has clinically significant reductions. So this chart summarizes many of the major benefits of transcendental meditation for reducing PTSD. We just explained that all the scientific studies with TM show large improvements. That's very, very important. Also, which we're going to show later, that almost all the studies show that within 1 month, there are very large reductions in traumatic stress symptoms. They'll also show very soon that the results of TM, the benefits of TM, come more quickly than with the very popular prolonged exposure or the group therapy or everything else we've tested. TM produces the results more quickly. So it's very effective, at least as effective as everything else that we've tested, or much more effective, and it's more rapid. There was a new study that came out, I didn't have a chance to put on this chart, that shows that TM is much more cost effective than prolonged exposure. So not only is it works better and faster, but it costs less to provide transcendental meditation. So you can see in many levels, it's really very ideal.
David, you should ask people to mute their phones. I'm
Yes,
getting
please
feedback.
mute your phones if you would. That would be really your phones, your microphones while we're speaking. We're going to give you a chance. Please write your questions down. I really look forward to answering questions after this in about 15, 20 minutes when we're done. The other thing is TM is good or better than the standard procedures. We've
এটা
shown
বন্ধ করে নিচে
um,
Dell has
another
his
point that's
mic
really
on, so
important
I'm hearing
is
Dell a lot.
the other point that's very important is TM is that TM is non-trauma facing. Trauma facing means that when a person does prolonged exposure or cognitive behavior therapy, one has to think about or remember and try to improve one's life, try to handle the stressful event in their memory. But with TM was inward facing. So you simply go in, you transcend, you go to quieter and quieter levels of a thinking process until you reach the quietest, most silent level. You reduce which you automatically release the stress of that event, and you come out more stress-free. So you don't have to grapple with, you don't have to remember the trauma while you're practicing transcendental meditation. Another very, very important point is that TM has a very wide range of benefits. So not only does it reduce the negative symptoms, which we just discussed, but it produces post-traumatic growth. It produces a very wide range of growth, of increased intelligence, increased creativity, increased growth of self-actualization, better mind-body coordination, and much more. And Dr. Glickman is going to talk about the changes in the brain. He's also going to talk about all these areas where there's post-traumatic growth. He'll go into that more thoroughly. Another point that's very important is that TM has been taught to over 10 million people around the world. So it's not a new thing that's just been thought up yesterday. It's been taught from a long tradition. It's been taught by over 10 million people around the world. And it's taught exactly the same way, scientific, uniformly taught. It's easy to practice and enjoyable to practice. These are all, I feel, very important points. Another thing is that when you practice TM, you come with, you think you may have PTSD or trauma, you can do a self-test and measure the trauma before, and you could do another test at 30 days and see what the changes have been. So it's very scientific. You can measure the changes yourself to see what the changes have been. And a very important point, as I said before, TM works with almost every other therapy that's available very smoothly, and it supports it helps the other therapies be more effective. So that's important. There was a very recent study that was published in November, December of last year in Medicina, which compared transcendental meditation to all other major meditations that have published research on them. The most popular one around the world is mindfulness. MBO is mindfulness, other mindfulness-based meditations. MBSR is mindfulness-based stress reduction. OAM is other meditations, and TM is transcendental meditation. And the longer the bar, the greater the greater the effect of the procedure. So if that's called effect size. So if the effect is -2, it's a very small effect. If the effect is -4 to -6, it's a moderate effect, medium, and it's -8 or greater, it's a large of effect, which means it's very effective at reducing the traumas. And when it's over like 1.2 or 1.1, it's a very, very large effect. So we can see, comparing mindfulness-based other procedures, that just a second, that the military has a modest effect, modest improvement. The civilian population in green has a when they do other mindfulness-based procedures, they have a large effect. And when the all groups together, have a somewhere between um, a modest effect and a large effect from other mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is a specific mindfulness-based procedure. Um, both the red is military; they have a moderate effect. The civilians have uh, also a moderate effect, and the yellow together is uh, also moderate. So the mindfulness-based stress reduction is basically moderately effective. The other meditation procedures, they also range the variety of meditation procedures that were tested, that were published and tested and published in scientific journals of repute, have a modest level of effect for all groups. And we look at transcendental meditation, very large effect for the red is military, the green is civilian, and the yellow is all groups taken together. So TM is almost twice as effective as any other meditation technique at reducing post-traumatic stress disorder, which is extremely important. This is a summary of that. The blue is TM. A group of 18 were tested, and they have an average of almost is about 1.1 drop in a called effect size. Other meditations were about 0.6. Mindfulness-based other procedures were about 0.6 as well. The mindfulness-based stress reduction was about 0.5. So TM is, you can see, almost twice as effective. This is a simple way of what we saw shown in the other study. What's important really here is that TM is also much more rapid at reducing the symptoms. And when a person is suffering from overwhelming trauma and these horrible images, this is really important that they get out of the suffering quickly. So you can see for military versus other procedures like prolonged exposure, the lower it goes is the greater drop in symptoms. So you can see TM is a dotted bar, it's dropping much faster. TM against South African students, much faster than the control group who didn't learn TM. This is the same group for nurses. They were the waitlisted, so they hadn't done anything. The TM group was very fast. Battered women, they had a support group. It showed improvement, but TM was much more rapid. So this is showing. Now we've looked at TM versus other meditations. Now this is TM for the military, comparing TM with psychotherapy. In the first chart, psychotherapy has this again. This is on the post-traumatic stress, the decrease in symptoms. There were very little decrease in symptoms with against psychotherapy, and TM has a clinically significant reduction. This is TM versus a few procedures. I forget which ones they are, unfortunately. On the third group, TM is blue, prolonged exposure, which is currently one of the most used procedures. TM, they both have a significant, clinically significant reduction. TM has likely a larger reduction. And here's another one on the right, as TM is blue, and the TAU is treatment as usual, which is some kind of psychological treatment, has a minimal, very small reduction in symptoms. And we're seeing very similar things for TM in every case. TM has excellent results in reducing. Often has a much larger. This case, it was similar to whatever. I think, unfortunately, I've got to check that one out. What the TMS and TMI mean. And in college students, TM produced a very large reduction, and the group that hadn't learned had no change. TM group here had for nurses, you can see every group the um, the TM was more effective. And this is another group, another situation where treatment as usual, which we showed before for prisoners, they did show a significant reduction, but it was far less than with TM as for these other situations. So here's just a quote from one fireman who was also an emergency medical technician who learned TM, and I interviewed him. He said, before TM, I would do whatever I could to stay awake the entire night. This is the horrible memories and dreams. The day I learned TM, I went home and actually slept the entire night. And he's doing really well since then. This is just one study here that shows you how very rapidly people reduce their traumatic symptoms when they learn TM. These are Congolese war refugees who had experienced really great horrors, and within 10 days there was a massive drop in symptoms, and they were out of PTSD in 30 days. This is a very important quote by a medical professional who was also a TM teacher, who watched many of the Congolese war refugees before they learned TM and then after. He said, I saw these people so stressed. Some were raped, some family members were taken away or murdered. They were highly stressed. I knew TM works for stress, but I did not even think TM would go so deeply and repair all that damage of trauma. When TM comes in and rests the mind, then the body rejuvenates itself in a natural manner. After learning TM, they say, I'm feeling so good. They see great changes. They are relaxed and can now make money to live. That's John Bukenya, who's currently the TM national TM leader of the TM movement in Uganda. And here too, we can see a quick chart of students. The red is the people who didn't learn TM, and in one university, one learned, the blue is people who learned TM, and the reduction in symptoms, where there's no reduction for the non-TM group, and the TM group was out of PTSD in a little over 3 months. And depression, this study shows TM group in blue was out of depression, and the group in red didn't learn TM, had no reduction in depression. Trauma, this is the same thing for prisoners. The group in red is the TM group. They're out of PTSD in 4 months, and the blue group did show improvements, but they still had PTSD. So with TM, we give each person who learns, who thinks that we think they may have trauma and they want to test themselves, we give them a chance to measure to self-test to see what their severity of their symptoms were before they learned TM, and then we give it to them at 30 days, and they can measure the changes. So we'll talk about this more later, but what we offer you is we offer the TM teachers this PowerPoint to use to share with people and organizations who have trauma and who want to come out of their trauma. We can help plan with the TM teachers. We offer support. We will help give presentations with anyone in the audience who wants to make this knowledge available to their organization or their friends. We can support project design. We can help fundraise if money is needed. And we also can do research to measure the changes. We have a team of PhD researchers, including Dr. Glickman, ready to help. So let's see. I'd like to now invite, does anyone have some questions now? We'd like to take a couple minutes if there are some questions and try to answer them. You can just speak, or you can put up there's a little hand gesture you can put up if you want me to see that you'd like to speak. we're glad to answer anything that we can. Okay, then I would like to turn this.
Hello.
Hey,
Yes.
Gurudev.
Yeah. Hi.
Thank you, David Shapiro and Ian Glickman, for this incredibly informative and insightful workshop on post-traumatic stress disorder. Your expertise and the depth of knowledge you have shared today are truly invaluable. I'm particularly struck by the specific point that in Bangladesh, the students and the people who are stressed by the cyclonic impact or the disasters like flooding here. So this is very important. Just I would like to know that uh, how we can get more information or get touch with you or this learning, that how we can get the transcendental meditation, uh, the way how we can get here. I know my friend Tariq is working here, so you can share more in this workshop so that we can get more insight from you. And thank you so much.
Very good. Very good. So this is Akbar, right? Akbar Hussain. Yes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your comments. Tariq is a certified transcendental meditation teacher. So he is qualified to teach any of these, any group who would like to learn, or individual who would like to learn with trauma, or who don't have trauma, of course. But since we're talking about PTSD now, what we will do is, if you know groups, you know hospitals, you know areas of the community that have trauma, or and you want us to reach out to them and give presentations, or if they're ready to learn transcendental meditation already, in any case, we're glad to support, and Tariq will be doing the TM teaching. If it became a very large project with thousands of people, we might bring in some support teachers. But for right now, Tariq is very well trained and he's ready to help. I think that's the first important thing. Everyone can look to Tariq as a prepared teacher ready to provide this. It's taught very quickly. And for those who don't practice TM, it's an effortless technique that's taught very quickly. It's very scientific. And you just practice it 20 minutes morning and evening, and you have these beautiful results. We see it all around the world, these beautiful results. So thank you for asking. Was that a good answer, or would you like, is there anything else I could answer there? You're on mute. You're on mute. Akbar, you're on mute.
Thank you, David. No, I don't have any questions right now.
Very good. Very good. Did Shaba have a question? Anyone have any other questions? We're glad to answer them.
Jai Gurudev. David ji, this is Vivek here.
Hi, Vivek.
It was a beautiful presentation, and I really, enjoyed the whole series. I just missed a few minutes of the initial part, about, I think, 10 minutes of it. I thought it was. I think the time difference was not clear for me. I miscalculated my
Okay,
timing to
that's
join.
fine.
I wanted to ask, do you have some, are there some video testimonials? I remember watching this really beautiful, heart-rending video of this lady saying that tears don't come anymore. It was so beautiful. I think, was it in Uganda where,
Yes.
and have there been any situations where so Bangladesh, where PTSD has been taught, for example, flood victims and
Okay, so you had two beautiful questions. Very nice. Thank you for your questions. On our website and also on Facebook, are you on Facebook and social media?
Yes, I am.
So, Alliance for PTSD Recovery, you can write that down. Alliance for PTSD Recovery. We have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page and an x.com page. And there are many testimonials, videos, and written testimonials there that you can look at. And also the website, which is aptsdr.org, has some videos as well. So there we have many, many videos. We've taught our two organizations have taught over 100,000 people TM with trauma. So there are many testimonials you can have. And now, did you have a second? I forget. There was a second question as well.
My second question was, for example, the flood victims and things like that. Has there been any similar kind of projects before in Africa or somewhere like that?
Well, all over Africa, we've done natural disasters for sure. But in Bangladesh, we're starting. This is what we're inaugurating our efforts to reach out. So this is going to be a golden opportunity for each of you to think, who do I know? Do I know a medical doctor? Do I know a psychologist? Do I know a group that helps people with trauma that's trying now, and they can add us. We can work with them to provide more support. So this is your opportunity. This is the meeting is to tell you what we can do and then give you a chance to reach out. We want to make we don't want this to be academic, to intellectual understanding. We want to use it to help people. So if you've missed 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we're going to send the video to Tariq, and anyone who wants a copy of this video, they can put their email address in the chat, and I will send them a copy of this video, so they can have that as well. Now, someone has their hand up. That's oh, that's you. That's you. You have your hand up. I didn't realize. Okay, so very good.
Hello.
Was that be okay? Does that answer the question?
Yes, yes, that's beautiful. This has been a great start. Thank you so much for this. And I think the PTSD is a very important, the thing to be taken care of in the society. And it's, if TM can act as an ointment of which can heal, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, TM, that's what we've shown here, that TM is really probably the best at that. Not only a thing, it's probably what I call the gold standard, which means the best. Faster, less expensive, more rapid than probably everything else. So it's really not something we're just doing it because we think we like it, but we're doing it because it's really the best. And it can be done with other things. Someone likes doing what they're doing, we say, fine, you keep doing what you're doing and just add TM on, and then it'll be much more effective. So that's really important too. So good. So any other questions? I want to give Dr. Glickman a chance. He's going to talk about beautiful aspects of how the brain functions, how with TM. He'll talk about a lot of very important related things. So
I think Nashaba has a question.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's not Noshab actually. I am Amit, co-founder of Together We Can. So thank you for this initiative that you have taken. I just want to share a few things. Like our organization is Together We Can. We do different things, but our main focus is providing uh, healing and providing mental support through artwork. We do theater, and for last 5 years we are doing theater with the specially abled. I think you can understand the people who are suffering from disabilities. We are doing theater with them. So we go through a process of theater work by which we provide them the uh, mental health and rehabilitation support.
I think you'll find my presentation very interesting because I'm going to be
Yeah, yeah,
directly dealing with those points. And I think we
yeah.
should start because I have patience. I have to see soon.
Yeah, I have found this presentation very interesting, and it goes with the way we have been working for last 5 years or 6 years. So we also want to ask few things like, as you said, the percentage of post-traumatic patients around different incidents and different groups. Do you have any plan to conduct a survey? How many people are traumatized after the July incident in Bangladesh, so that we can plan our things accordingly? Do you have any data in your hand, or will you planning to do some kind of research work?
We've done enough research. We know that the groups are traumatized. With TM, they just teach them and then the trauma goes away quickly. So we don't need to do more research. Don't want to delay. We want to jump and help the people today. We don't want to wait for research and all that kind of stuff. Other
Okay.
people have researched and said there's a lot of trauma. It's very clear that people are suffering. The students are suffering a lot. So we just have to go and say, if you're suffering, we'll help you. So it's a different,
Okay.
we're at the action phase. We published 18 studies all around the world, and we've had beautiful results. Every single one, there's a big improvement. So with TM, very big improvement, quick and big, and it's easy and effortless. So now it's time to take action, and we'd be glad to work with you, and you could add this on to what you're doing to help the art
Yeah.
world and other groups. Whatever groups you'd like to reach out to, we're glad to work with you and support your work with TM. It's an
Yeah,
add-on.
definitely. Because all these years, what we were doing, we were going through the art and in meditation. On that process, meditation was one of the elements that we used so for all these years. So yeah, this can be a very fruitful collaboration that we can have
Very good.
through our work and TM. It will be more effective what we feel.
Yes,
It will be
yes.
more.
You've been doing a meditation, but we found that
Yeah.
all the published other meditations, as we said, this is the most effective meditation that's been published in studies. So twice as more effective, much more rapid, easy, effortless. So it's going to be something nice you can put. You just make this your meditation. I have other trauma psychologists who did exactly the same thing. They did meditation, then they learn TM and go, oh, this is so effective, helps me so much. Now this is my meditation. And I do whatever I'm doing already, I continue. I just add on TM, and then now I have a more effective program. So it's wonderful. You're going to get more support for what you're doing because you're giving such an effective meditation to help your treatments.
Guidance for that as well. So it will be a good initiative and good collaboration. What we hope from our side.
Now, have you learned transcendental meditation yet?
I have just been initiated by Tariq Bhai.
Oh, very good.
So
Okay,
it's
good. So
beginning.
you see how effortless it is and how peaceful you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah,
do it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
very
Okay,
good.
okay.
So then
Thank you.
you're going to be giving that gift to other people in part of your program.
Yeah, we are up to it.
Very good, very good. We look forward to working with you. You can reach out to me anytime. More people want to join us. See that we're getting quite a lot of people who still want to join. So,
Okay, then.
Ian, why don't you, since people are joining all the time, why don't you, even in your talk, you can say that we'll send them out a video and that they can send us their email address and name, and we'll send them the videos
All
for
right.
people who have missed.
So I'm going to share my screen, see if my slides come up. And I don't know if they did. Share. Perhaps not. Open system settings.
You doing okay?
It's not sharing. David, you're going to have to do it.
Okay, that's fine. That's the backup crew.
Oh, mine are here. Are those yours? No, mine are here. Can
I
you
don't
see
see them
mine?
yet, though. I don't see them yet, Ian.
You don't? All right.
When you've got it up, I'll see it. That's the point.
Yeah, well,
Um, st Please make ENG the co-host. There must be an option on ENG, and you can make
oh,
Ian's thing, and you can make him.
No, it's multiple participants can share simultaneously. He's already a co-host.
Oh, okay.
yeah. What do you,
I don't think so. I don't think that's the option here. Enabled here.
Okay, so I'm gonna share his screen for him. Yeah, everyone sees that?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
okay. So I'm not sure what this is then. Let me just X over here. All right.
Okay, so
Okay, am I on? All right, so slide number 1. Well, first of all, I'm Dr. Glickman. I'm a trauma psychologist. I've seen 10,000 war soldiers in the United States at the Veterans Hospital just in the last 10 years, and I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of families and children with PTSD. So I'm an expert in PTSD, and I'm asked to speak a lot. Also I've been a TM teacher, Transcendental meditation teacher for about 50 years. So I know both sides of this, and I welcome everyone. And those who have not heard, you can get a copy of this whole presentation. It's being recorded, and also the slides as you need them. Additionally, if you have any questions, you can always email me or email David or Tariq, and we'll help you out. So this first slide, what makes transcendental meditation so profound? And it is the most profound technique you could possibly use for the treatment of PTSD. But PTSD is a collection of symptoms. It's depression, it's anxiety, it's sleep disorder, it's intrusive thoughts, it's panic attack, it's great social distress, being out in public. So when you put all those together, we call it PTSD. But you can use transcendental meditation just to treat depression or anxiety or a sleep disorder, any single one. It doesn't matter. It works the same. There's a saying that a high tide rises all boats. And so this is what transcendental meditation is. So it's a brain technique. It affects your brain very significantly. And when your brain is affected in a very positive, significant way, your whole life is. So you see that slide before transcendental meditation. Those are the aspects of your brain that are being used. And the yellow isn't being used, and the blue is being used the most, and the dark blue the very most. So during transcendental meditation, you enter a different state of consciousness, literally. We all are familiar with 3 states of consciousness: waking, sleeping, and dreaming. And there are physiological correlates to each of those 3 states. Your blood chemistry is different when you're awake than when you're in dream or when you're in deep sleep. Waking, sleeping, deep sleep, and dreaming are the 3 states. But in transcendental meditation, it's called the transcendental state. Or transcendental consciousness. It's the 4th state of existence. And the blood chemistry is completely different. The experience is completely different, and the brain is completely different. Let's go to slide 2, Dave. I'm not seeing your screen because did something wrong. But are you on slide 2? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And are you seeing a picture of the brain?
Can everyone see this slide that I'm showing?
Yes, we can see.
You can see the
Yes,
slide
we
that says
can.
optimal and stressed. Okay, good. I just wanted to know. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I'm having technical difficulties here. So on the left is a normal brain. That's our brain. That's what it looks normally. This is called a functional MRI image. And on the right side is also a normal brain. This is your brain, just like my brain and your brain. However, it is a brain that's under stress. And it has what's called holes in it, functional holes. Those aren't actual holes, but they're areas of the brain that aren't being used. And the more you get stressed, the less of their brain you can use. That's why when you have a lot of stress, and people with PTSD have a lot of stress, people who've experienced trauma have a lot of stress, and their brain is the brain that we're experiencing right there on the right. And there's very few options. When people have a lot of stress, they make very poor decisions, and it's kind of it's difficult to believe why they made such a poor decision, but now you can see why that is. Now, if we go to slide number 3, just tell me when it's updated. I'm not hearing you. Slide number 3 up?
This is increased restful alertness, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, increasing. So this is another image of the brain, and in the left side, you can see the frontal areas of the brain, which are responsible for alertness. They're red. That means there's a lot of activity there, okay? But also in the bottom corner on the right, that's the area for restfulness. And you can see there's not a lot of red activity there. So the state of transcendental consciousness, the state of transcendental meditation is called restful alertness. And so you can see the brain reflects alertness on the upper right and restfulness on the lower upper left and restfulness on the lower right. Now here's another type of meditation on the left, on the right side, and it shows all this red. The brain is just awake. They think they're meditating. They are meditating. They're doing some type of meditation, but it's not producing a fourth state of consciousness. It's not profound. It's ordinary. That slide on the left is profound. Let's go to the next slide and tell me when it's up. Now,
There's eyes closed on the left and transcending on the right.
Yeah, thank you. So just sitting with our eye closed, there is some coherence. All these little dots that you see on the brain there on the left are leads for an EEG. And using those leads, we can determine what part of the brain is talking to another part of the brain. And there's a little bit of talking going on. But when you're transcending, the entire brain is coherent. It's like you're the manager of a big company, and on the left, you can only talk to certain people, and then they maybe can talk to someone else. On the right, if you're the manager of that company, you communicate with everyone. And your brain works so much better when you're using 100% of it. There was a saying when I was in graduate school, we only use 10% of our brain. Well, that's the brain on the left. You want to use 100% of your brain, that's the brain on the right. And that's why such fantastic, profound results occur when you're doing this technique. And I'm going to show them now. Let's go to the next slide, which is the brain integration scale.
Right, we've got the brain integration scale up now.
Okay, so look at this slide. On the left side of the left column, we're looking at athletes. And we're looking at that brain correlation between all the parts of the brain. It turns out whether you're playing soccer or football or field hockey or badminton, that world-class athletes are much, much better in terms of their brain coherence than ordinary athletes. Their brain just works a little better. And managers, look at the middle column, please. Everyone's worked here under a very good manager and maybe under a bad manager, okay? The good managers have more brain working. And sometimes you might have a very poor manager and you might ask, I don't know if he has all his brain working. Well, the good managers have more brains, more brain coherence, which means you're using more of your brain. If you're a millionaire and you have $1 million in your bank account, you want access to it. And we are millionaires with our brain. We can use our whole brain, but most of us only have access to 10%. Now look at the right column, that's transcendental meditation. They're better than everyone. Your brain becomes much more coherent and active. And when your brain is more coherent and much more lively to every other aspect of your physiology, you will recover much quicker from anything, but especially PTSD, which is devastating. So this is why this is so important. Next slide, please.
Are the slides ready?
Thank you. So EEG coherence, and you only get this coherence when you do transcendental meditation, when you are experiencing the fourth state of consciousness. That's the only place you get this level of coherence. And, and what happens when your brain's this coherent? Look at the top right around 12 o'clock, it says concept learning. People with PTSD don't want to be professional patients all their life. They want to go to school, they want to have a job, they want to have a family. But when you're not using your brain, when you have big holes in your brain, it's very hard to understand big concepts. And when you talk to someone who is very stressed, they're very traumatized, they don't understand things. They're just very focused on the here and now. And to the right of that, you see academic performance. These people want to go back to school, but they can't because their brain's not functioning well. Their academic performance will improve. Next to that is moral reasoning. People with PTSD often get in trouble with the law and authorities because they make very poor moral decisions. They don't act ethically. And this increases when you're using your whole brain. You stop to think, oh, maybe I better not do that bad activity. They're able, the next bubble down, they're able to reflect more on their activities and if it's a moral right activity as opposed to a bad. I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers with PTSD, and I ask every single one, how's their self-esteem? And usually I get two responses. They laugh at me because it's so bad, or they start to cry because it's so bad. Your self-esteem is not good when you can't function. You have no what's called efficacy, no self-efficacy. You can't do something. You want to be like your neighbor and just be normal and happy and smile and have a family and have a life. And when you can't do that, you have very bad self-esteem and depression. Think, I can't do anything, I'm just depressed. Next to that is anxiety. PTSD, hallmark of PTSD is anxiety, but anxiety decreases significantly, profoundly after a few days of doing the transcendental meditation technique. And that is because, going to the next bubble, you're increasing your transcendental consciousness. You're more experiencing that bliss. And I'm saying bliss is the feeling one gets when their whole brain works. You probably all had the experience of feeling better after a good night's sleep. More aware. So think of it when your brain gets a deep rest, it's deeper than the deepest part of deep sleep, which is what happens physiologically when you do transcendental meditation. So consciousness orientation and neurological efficiency we saw in those slides increases tremendously. Your whole life gets better. And patients come into me and say, Dr. Glickman, I can't believe it. I'm sleeping for the first time. I've had patients who wouldn't go to sleep. I said, what do you mean you don't go to sleep? He said, no, I'm afraid to go to sleep. I stay up, and just at the point where I'm getting sleepy, I'll wake myself up because I can't stand horrible nightmares or night terrors where you just wake up in a cold sweat. TM cures this, just cures it. Nothing else will. Next slide, please, David.
I'd just like to add, someone just joined. For all of you here, we've said it a few times, but if you've missed some of the presentation or a lot of it, or even a little, please put your name and your email address and your phone number in the chat, and we will copy it and then send you a copy of the video of this conference for you to catch up on.
Okay, now we're looking at alcohol use. What is the go-to resource for someone with PTSD? It's drugs or alcohol. I don't know if drugs are as prevalent in bad drugs are as prevalent in Bangladesh, but here they are very prevalent. But the thing with alcohol is, I tell my patients, and they understand this, that if you start drinking to get rid of your symptoms, you're not only going to have PTSD, you're going to have alcoholism on top of it. So on the top right there, you can see reduced days of use. So that people practicing TM twice a day can reduce the number of days they use alcohol. They can reduce the amount of heavy drinking they do. And they can reduce their stress without alcohol. Now, here's the main point that you have to realize. When you do transcendental meditation, cortisol, which is your stress hormone, decreases. And serotonin, which is your good, happy, well-being hormone, increases. So when someone goes on a program where they take alcohol away, they stop drinking, their stress hormone is really increased, but they're not increasing any serotonin. TM increases serotonin a lot. In fact, unbelievably, listen carefully to this. If you are a non-meditator and you're working in your office, and next door to you or a couple of doors down, there are 4 or 5 people practicing the transcendental meditation in the same building, even though you don't meditate, your serotonin increases, your cortisol decreases just being close to people who meditate. That's why it's good to have a group. When you have PTSD, you all do it in a group, it enforces each other. The difference is, like, you're in your living room listening to music and dancing by yourself, or you're in a party with all your friends and relatives, you're all dancing together. Different. TM is very powerful. It reduces cravings for alcohol. And decreases frequency of the craving. Next slide, please. A problem is, when you get in trouble with the law, you go to prison. And once you are in prison, a vicious cycle starts. You get out and you go back in because you can't think of any way to work. It's called recidivism in the United States, and it's a big problem. But when you do transcendental meditation and you're using that brain with no holes in it, when you get out, you stay out. You go to school, you get married, you have a job, you have kids, you have responsibilities, and you enjoy your family and you enjoy your work. Totally different situation. The thing is, when you go to prison, what are you going to do when you get out? And if you're using the same brain that got you into prison, it's not very good. Albert Einstein said, it's very hard to solve a problem when you're using the same type of thinking that got you into the problem. Or as I tell my patients, you have to know the first rule of holes. And the first rule of holes is, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Okay, next slide, please. And when you do go back to school, this is for high school students, practicing the transcendental meditation technique on the blue, 73% graduate, whereas only 48% graduate. You're using your whole brain. That's all there is to it. I had that experience. I started Transcendental meditation when I was an undergraduate. And all of a sudden I was an A student. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize it. I just became an A student. And professors used to come and ask me, how did you become an A student? I said, I don't know. And then I started talking about TM and they all wanted to learn. I taught all my professors. Either that was because I was such a good student before or I was such a bad student before I started. I'm not sure. Next slide, please. People get very frustrated when they can't learn. People in the United States, there's a big problem with called ADHD, attention deficit or hyperactivity with the students, partially because of all the stimulation they're getting from electronic devices, perhaps. But look at it's 86% reduction in dropouts. Now you can have these, I know I'm going through these slides very quickly, but you can all have a copy. And next slide, please, David. Blood plasma, cortisol, the stress hormone, it decreases. Look how much it decreases during transcendental meditation. We used to say to people, if you learn transcendental meditation, it's like taking a 20-minute vacation twice a day. People come out refreshed and happy. Very, very positive. And all these things put together, as a psychologist who studied this for decades, this is profound. Show me something that will reduce your blood cortisol so quickly in 20 minutes. There's nothing other than some type of medication. Next slide, please, Steve. Changes in blood pressure. EC is educational control. I can't remember a PR. It's another type of meditation. And in TM, it decreases about 10 points. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's an internal medicine physician and a researcher. And I said, gee, I thought only 10 points. I'm not a physician. It's not so. He said, oh no. Reducing your diastolic blood pressure 10 points is the difference between needing to take medications and not. So this is significant. Next slide, please, David. This is my very favorite slide because of my advanced age. People who practice TM are on average about 12, after practicing, I think it's 5 years, you're 12 years younger. And they measure blood lactate, hearing, vision, blood chemistry. But what happens is you have this thing in your RNA, you have a DNA, but DNA gets messages to your cell through RNA, messenger DNA it's called. And the messenger RNA has little cells in them called telomeres. And the telomere interacts with the cell to have it regenerate. And over time, the telomeres get less effective. Telomeres are compared to that little cap on your shoelace. And the little cap wears as you get older. And so it's very hard for the shoelace to go into the hole when it's all frayed. And you have a little wrinkle on your face. Well, the DNA says, oh, fix the wrinkle, and it sends everything to the cell. Let's do it. But the RNA, the telomeres are frayed. So that's why you age. TM, studies show the telomeres don't age. You will be younger. Your brain will be younger too. Because your brain ages, as we all know. So this is, like I said, my favorite chart. So I was going to say something else. So let's see. Let's go to, I think we're pretty much done with this. Let's go to the next slide.
Well, we've got a slide on quality of life. We've got a slide on drug-induced deaths, things like that.
Oh, yeah, that goes, okay, so I'm going to stop now. I think I've talked enough.
Beautiful.
I just want to say, the reason I got interested in the telomeres and the biological age, if that's still up, is that because I was asked to speak at a children's hospital on bullying. So I was doing some research, neurological research, biochemistry on people who were bullied and picked on in school. they age much quicker. Even 8-year-old, 7-year-old children, they age much quicker than normal children because of the stress of bullying and the stress affected neurologically, physiologically, the telomeres. So it's been such a joy to be able to speak with you. If I can help you in any way, just email me, contact David, look at our website. But we'll take some questions now if there's anything. If not, I'll any questions. If there's not any questions, I'll pass it back to David to tell you a little bit more about the program.
So Dr. Glickman has helped 10 or 20,000 people come out of trauma, very experienced trauma psychologist, and he's a long-term transcendental meditation teacher. So we're very honored to have him speak to us today. Sure, he can answer any interesting questions you may have. Vivek? Go ahead.
If anyone else has a question, I'll let them, and then I can ask mine. All right. I wanted to ask Dr. Glickman about what sort of effect has he seen in his clinical practice in terms of because PTSD, it seems very innocuous in the sense of people having PTSD and stress and all that. Just like no one ever. I mean, sorry to say, in India and in countries like ours, we rarely speak about it, and we rarely speak about it. It's almost taboo to speak about it because we feel that if you talk about something like trauma, it's sort of like, are you if I excuse the word, are you sissy, or are you not very manly to man up and handle your situation? And how does that handle in terms of a clinical practice? Just curious, how does that come up in your situation?
No, it's very similar in the United States that, people are think they're in the military and they're not supposed to have any emotions or anything. And I work with young men, age 8 to 18, and they don't talk about anything. You can see their blood pressure in their physiology. They're very stressed out, but they don't talk about it. But this is the beauty of transcendental meditation. You don't have to talk. You don't have to believe it will work. It will work. You don't need any intellectual or emotional anything. And mothers are always bringing their children into me and say, they won't talk, you have to make them talk, you have to make them talk. And I said, I think I can do better than that. I can make them transcend talking so they're better. So it's a very, very powerful, and it's not just in India and Bangladesh, it's everywhere that men feel they have the responsibility to be the stable person. And if they're weak, their family will suffer. But you don't have to be weak. You don't have to believe anything. You just do this simple technique twice a day, and all your problems go away.
So we have another question from Shiema Shafi Sumi. Excuse the mispronunciation. Would you like to speak, Shiema?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, both of you, David and Ian. You have given excellent presentation regarding benefits of TM techniques. Actually, I am involved in this meditation from 2006, so it's my 19th year journey. I'm a meditation teacher from Art of Living, India, and in my life, lots of trauma things happened, and I manage everything by meditation. So I know the benefits and real experience in my life, and I spread out the things around me and different place. They are very underprivileged people, and they are not getting any medical service for that. That's why they are very, very much benefited, and they overcome their stress, trauma, and lots of things, basically depression. So what you are addressing now, causes of stress after the political unrest situation after August 5, that's very excellent. And I am very much interested to know detail about TM to upgrade myself for my knowledge. That I am actually very much interested to know practically how can I become a teacher, how can I spread out the positive thing in future others traumatized people. That's my objective to attend this session. And you know, Tariq is my very personal, personally, we have personally friend. And today he disclosed the thing. And from tomorrow, maybe I will start my journey with TM. Thank you very much.
Very good. Yeah. So TM, the first step to becoming a teacher is to do TM. So you know what you're teaching.
I just want to make something clear. All the scientific research that I showed is from transcendental meditation. It doesn't carry over to other forms of meditation. And I don't know if you saw the whole slideshow, but I had a chart of a meditation that was very popular in the United States by a famous physician, Benson, a stress physician. He didn't have nearly the results of transcendental meditation. So I should have made that clear that transcendental meditation is absolutely distinct from any other meditation. Most meditations involve concentration or contemplation. TM does not. It involves transcendence. So these charts, this science is only from transcendental meditation.
Very beautiful. And I don't know when you came, some of you came after the beginning of my presentation, but we compared the scientific research, very rigorous journals compared TM with all their meditations that had been tested. There could be meditations that are as good as TM, but they haven't been tested. But of the tested studies, TM was much more effective, at least twice as effective as any other meditation that's been published in any journal around the world. So it's a very unique thing. So I would say it's good to learn TM, try it for 3 to 6 months, and show yourself, test yourself, see what happens. If you're not meditating with transcendental meditation yet. We have 2 more questions from, let me just do it from Sanjoy, please excuse my mispronunciation. Sanjoy Majumbar.
Yes. Yes, thank you very much, David G and ING. Actually, it was a really nice presentation. And, I am a book publisher in Bangladesh. So I have more than 300 writers here in my publication. And most of them are university or college teacher. And few of them are doctors. But when Tarek Bhai share with me like these topics, PTSD, we can work together, we can spread our TM journey here. Then I talk with several persons here, but the interesting thing is in Bangladesh, PTSD is not that much known terms. And post-traumatic disorder, they are not worried about it. So it's really a nice journey, but we should take this opportunity to spread more people. Only think like we just want to taught them TM in different financial conditions. Like when we started here, before 3 years, I learned TM. That time, TM fees was 12,500. Now it's 25,000. But the economical condition and the situation here, I think for a large group, Raja Brian ji also give us a new plan for 6 months. Tarak Bhai told me uh, for surviving somehow. But for a big thing, I think you should make a big project plan here, and we can work together.
Very
It's
good.
really a good.
I'd be glad to work with you. Please put your email and your phone in the chat so we can work afterwards. That would be really great. We'll think what groups, what people are we always want to approach in the way people want to be helped, whatever people feel their needs are. It could be just we use the word stress instead of post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, the high level of stress, people will say, yes, I have a lot of stress. Whatever people want to call it, it's all right. It doesn't matter. The point is it's whether they give it a name or not doesn't matter. We want to help with the problem. So we can find ways to reach out in the way people will recognize it.
Okay, thank you.
Now is Atanu Sarma? Would you have a question?
So happy to be a part of this session. Actually, I'm not quite used to these terms, but I know a little about PTSD, like post-traumatic stress disorder, something like that, if I'm not wrong. So the thing is, my question is actually I have been. Let me be frank. I think like everyone here like is okay to share with. So the thing is, I have been like suffering from like severe level of depression and stress for quite a few years, and it increases. Currently, I am on high doses of antidepressants.
Yeah. So with TM, TM's very, very effective. You should continue working with your doctor, but you'll probably find that pretty quickly you won't need that level of, work closely with the doctor and you won't need that level of antidepressants, and hopefully soon you won't need them at all. But it depends. It's very different person to person. The other thing is that the side effects, are you noticing some negative side effects from the drugs?
Pardon, I couldn't hear you clearly.
Do you notice some negative side effects from the drugs, the antidepressants?
The thing is, actually, regarding side effects, I think like when the doctor suggested me to stop taking the drug, not all of a sudden, but step by step. So I tried that, and after that, I found that like it returned the fear,
Right,
the
right.
depression.
So with TM brings you inner peace. So that stress and that fear becomes less and less day by day. You have to practice it. You have to do it to get the results. You can't learn and then not do it. If you do it regularly and keep doing it and keep doing it, can do it, it's a non-medicinal tranquilizer. It's gonna without the medication so you don't suddenly stop the drugs, but you work closely with a doctor, and then you'll find you probably need less and less and less, and then you'll be so your life will get better. That
Yeah,
happens.
that's exactly what I want actually. Like rather
Yeah.
than being dependent on medicines, it's much better being dependent on thyself. So practicing
Yeah,
this.
so now you get dependent on your own inner self, your own mind. You enjoy the inner silence, the peace, and the brain works better, and you could be more productive, and your life will be gradually, day by day, systematically, it'll be better if you just do this. So you can just talk to Tariq. He's a TM teacher, certified TM teacher. You need to go to a certified TM teacher, and TM is completely different from other meditations, as we've shown in this presentation. So you're really fortunate to come to hear about transcendental meditation, because this can be a big, big help to you.
Yeah,
Big, big
yeah,
help.
I am quite grateful to Tariq Bhai for letting me to be here in this session. Yeah, so I'll definitely reach out to him to learn about this. Thank you so
Very
much.
good. Very good. Very good, Atanu. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well, which it will if you actually when you learn and practice. So are there any other questions? I think we've let
Yes,
me take a
can
second. Yeah, Atanu.
my name is, I am Professor Chandan Shortcut. Actually, I'm a TM Siddha. I started my journey from TM meditation from 2020. The teacher was Raja Michael Bush, and then Shomi Tripathi ji, Shandha Tripathi ji, and it is a very, very wonderful time. Still today, I'm just, I think, taking place from TM.
Very good.
And yes, in Bangladesh right now is very, very important to spread out. You know, Bangladesh right now, especially for a students groups, they're suffering from a trauma after the 5th August. And so many parents, teachers, students, even businessmen, they actually think about how to overcome this one. And this movement is, I'm also part of Bangladesh movement, of TM movement, and I'm very happy to see all of you. And Tariq Bhai, Vivek ji, so all are very close to me. And say, just take your suggestion how to spread out to our, especially for females, students, and university students can spread out throughout the country. And like, I'm very, very happy to talk with you, Raja David ji. And I saw your presentations. I am Glickman ji. It's wonderful. Great. Thank you very much, all of you.
Very good. So for
Can I just make one comment?
please.
You were taught TM by Michael Bush, who's a good friend of mine, and he lives not too far from me right now in Iowa. And I'll tell him that you did very well on the conference, and that he did a good job teaching you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Beautiful. So this is the time. I'm going to bring up another. I'm going to show the slide I had before. Share it with everyone. This is what we're offering everyone. You can see this list here. We're offering to help you reach out. We're offering to Tariq is completely available to work with you. But if you're meditating or you're not meditating, and if you're meditating, you experience the benefits. But even if you're not meditating and you see it's a good thing, and you know groups that would like to hear about, they would like to reduce the stress they're living, reduce the traumatic stress they're experiencing. So you can reach out to me or to Tariq, best to Tariq, and he can set up a meeting and give a presentation to that group, whether it's a group of students or it's a group of faculty members, or it's a military person, or it's a person who's in a flood zone where there's a big flooding or tornado zone or hurricane. Wherever there's a problem, you can reach out yourself. You don't need to wait for Tariq. Just meet the group and say, we've got something very good, and we'd like to have Tariq come and explain it to you. So absolutely do that. And Tariq will be there to help, and I'll be here to help as well. So as I said before, the TM teachers can have this PowerPoint presentation. If you're planning to go somewhere, we can maybe train you can go with the TM teacher, or if you would like, you can perhaps give the presentation yourself if you're a siddha or you're a meditator. We can also be there on the meetings with you. If you want to give a presentation, we can set up so if it's the right time of day, we can speak with you and answer questions. Once you set up a project, we can work with Tariq and the international administrator, Roger Bryan to design the project. If you need funding, we see if that's needed. We might be able to help you with that, and so forth. So do some of you have any groups you can think of you'd like to reach out to, and we can maybe plan together with Tariq to reach out? By the way, here's our website and our email. You can please write this down. It's the email is contact@aptsdr.org. And you can reach us by phone or by WhatsApp at 1-304-703-6653. Or you can reach out to Tariq, which is very easy at the TM Center, local TM Center.